All right.
Yes, that is the energy that we are moving into this Thursday. We had a lot of sun today, thank goodness. And I can already hear the drips off the side of the house from all the icicles. We're de-icing slowly.
And it's the eve.
Yeah, it is. I did feel like it was a cruel trick of nature to have some snow this morning, though. I woke up to about an inch of snow on my car, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me! We are sick of rush. I'm just done with it." I see people though, and if you're one of these people, please stop yourself. You need to scrape off the snow on top of your car. Literally, people driving with 2 feet of snow on top of their car, it's expecting the back defrost to get it. No, don't do it on the Kennedy. That's all I'm saying, because it's gonna whack me. So figure this out.
Very dangerous.
Come on, people, grow up. Anyways, welcome to the show.
It's the jam. We're happy to be here with you, and we got lots to talk about.
Let's jump right in, you guys. So confusion, a lack of coordination, dangerous and disrespectful actions. That is how the Inspector General's report describes the Chicago police response to protests and looting across the city last spring. The report highlighted the department's lack of plans for arrests, inability to distinguish who was in charge, and the list of wrongs in the IG report is extremely lengthy. None of it favorable, really, to the police department. I didn't get through the entirety of it because it was so long. Of course, this is also coming on the heels of news we found out yesterday how much money went to the police department because after the riots. So probably a lot of mixed emotions in the guts about the CPD right now.
To say the least, this is certainly not the press run that I'm sure they would have liked to have happened after the $281 million number that we had for police presence during this time. And then now this report, which, by the way, we didn't need. I could have told you this for a lot less money than the Inspector General. Just saying. It is no secret. We all lived it. We could see how it was so unorganized and a lot of the issues that were happening. It felt extremely unsafe, even as a citizen in my own home, let alone someone out on the streets, and unsafe for the police officers too. I mean, I really think the buck falls with leadership, CPD leadership, as well as city leadership, because I'll call Mayor Lightfoot out for this one. I saw that, the new police superintendent, he was certainly apologized and recognized that there was a shortfall. I personally haven't seen that from the mayor.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these reports are important. Like a postmortem and all this stuff is very key in trying to plan for future things. I was really shocked at how they had some criticism, obviously, the rank and file of the police department, but a lot of it was at the top, like you're saying, Felicia. A lot of it critical of the decision to raise the bridges, that the police officers found that it wasted time. They didn't really know how to do it, and it really inhibited their ability to move around the city too. So it ended up being criticized on both ends. I will say to a lot of people that are coming and out and saying, look, the police handled this all wrong. If you really read through the Inspector General's report, they really do recommend more arrests and being ready for mass arrests. There's a lot of confusion about who had declared an arrest. So be careful what you wish for when you say you want things to change, because if they follow the letter of what the IG report says, they would have been arresting a lot more people, holding them longer, and prepared for that.
Harsher charges, they said too, John. I totally agree with you. I also want to give the superintendent a little bit of grace in this respect too. He came to the Chicago Police Department the month before. Now, he also came on board knowing all the problems they had too. But to be saddled with this massive movement and under new leadership, I don't think it was really easy for the police department. I'm trying to give him a little bit of wiggle room here, but there were some big mistakes made.
We all know Amy said she'd be a police officer if she wasn't here with us at the jail.
Yeah, but
don't start laying the bricks for your second run, Amy.
It's just never perfect, you know what I mean?
No, but you're right. I mean, it's chaos. You're making the point that it's chaos. Who is able to plan for that? Who knew that we would be in a pandemic and have all this civic unrest? I mean, geez. Yeah. So I get your point.
All right. Who's got your tea ready for this story?
Oh
my God.
Let's bring this one.
Praise Jesus. I've been waiting for this one all day.
It's National Wine Day.
Oh, whatever you need to get through this story. Senator Ted Cruz is back in Texas after flying to Cancun in the midst of one of the worst crises the state has ever seen. Probably the worst natural disaster since Hurricane Harvey, and it will likely be more expensive and maybe more deadly than that. So here he is last night, Cruz flying to Cancun with his family. So he got roasted by liberals, by conservatives. He flew back. He just got back. Protesters are like waiting outside his house right now. And now he's even more trouble because he released this statement to the media talking about how, it was the school was canceled. The girls wanted to go, and I'm a good dad, and I flew back with them, and that was all the plan. Yeah, well, no. The New York Times just released a story that they have the text message chain with Cruz's wife talking to his neighbors about, hey, let's go, let's get away. The house is cold. Someone on the group chat shared it with the New York Times. And being like, yeah, we're going to leave Thursday. We're going to come back Sunday. So none of Cruz's story adds up. And I just am living for all of it.
Yeah, I guess they found out that it was reported by several media outlets that he decided to change his flight to come back to Texas this morning at 6 a.m. after he started getting some pressure because he was originally supposed to come back on Saturday, I believe. So there was another plan in place. And the Telemundo, the local Telemundo station in Cancun caught up with him at the airport as he was on his way to town. And as he's giving his statement about what he decided to do, he's like, my girls came to me yesterday and said they wanted to go on a trip with their friends. So, we felt bad about everything that was going on. We decided to jump on a plane. I'm like, what parent in a matter of hours, when your 10 and 12-year-old girls come to you and say, we want to go on a trip, let me buy you plane tickets to Mexico, jump on a plane, and I'll go with you and come back. That ain't happening. I'm sorry. That is not how logistics work in families.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
No, that seems possible, though. I will say, this is why you fly private.
No, that's not the take. This ain't it.
You don't
This
get
ain't
all
it.
these airport pictures. I'm just saying, I'm not sticking up for it. I'm just saying what he should have done. Fly private, then you have all these issues. You don't have to be taken by pictures of the paparazzi and fellow commoners on their cell phones. He handled this all wrong. Clearly, he shouldn't have been there. I mean, I was somewhat, with his statement, was making sense of it when he said, okay, I wanted to be there for my family and I'm coming back this afternoon. But now that we're getting reports that that's possibly not true, it's just a bunch of fluff. And I got other words for it, but fluff will work for television.
I just feel like he is doing the Lord's work in unifying this country in anger towards him, though. Like, the right, the left, everyone's like, what are you doing? Fox News is like, what are you doing, you dummy? Like, here's one thing. Beto O'Rourke, who lost to Ted Cruz for the last couple nights and continuing tonight, is organizing mass phone banks to seniors to see what they need in the state. Because a lot of people are like, what could Ted Cruz do? He's just a senator. It's a federal office. It's not a state office. Well, the guy who lost is doing something. So why don't you try and figure something out like that, right? Like, they're leaders in the state, even if they don't physically hand the money out to people.
John, he's
That's
cold.
true, John.
He's cold.
He's got over in my mansion.
That's
and I
true,
get
John. There's something to do. I mean, find something to do. Maybe this is your time to be handing out food or something like this. This is, I feel for the guy. He said for his family, if that story is true, which it doesn't look like it, but he said he wanted to be there for his family. I can, in a sense, understand the pressure. Maybe, Amy, you can speak to that, the pressure that your kids put on you between work and stuff. It just doesn't seem like that's the case here. And I don't think if you're one of those people, if you're one of those people who have been there 3-4 days without power, you feel like that. Now, you do say crisis. I do remember reading Michelle Obama talking about how Barack Obama got blasted by the media because he missed a very, very, very important vote on a bill that he introduced because he was in Hawaii. The reason why he was in Hawaii, he was there for a trip, was supposed to fly back. His daughter got really sick. They couldn't fly. That's how sick she was. And so he got blasted by the media because he missed a vote for being in Hawaii. So I guess I'm saying, his kid was sick. Yeah,
you're talking about your wife and your daughters are healthy and safe, yet they don't have power. Understandable, like the rest of the state that you live in. That's one thing. But so you're choosing to take a vacation with them and get out of Dodge instead of stick around and deal with the problem at hand that is your state. Now, if his kids were sick and he's like, I got to go fly to Mexico because I got to get her some treatment, experimental treatment, so she'll survive, I would shut up about all of this, right?
Yeah. And let me be clear. I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just posing the pull that family can have on you in your career. That's all I'm noticing.
Look at you being nice to Ted Cruz, Felicia. What a sweetheart you are.
Don't say that.
No.
Don't say that because I'm on your
seriously.
side.
It's one of the worst. It's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen a politician make. Not only logistically, not
So
only in
bad.
what he can do, but optically, it is the worst decision I've ever seen a politician
Horrible.
make. Well,
Thank you.
one of the worst. We'll leave some room. All right, coming down, we are getting down to business. A NASA scientist is breaking down why its latest mission to Mars is the most important ever. After the break.
If you're looking for a quick bathroom refresh, Oh Joy designer Joy Cho gave me easy tips to change your space. I'm so glad we're talking about this because I literally just did my powder room, but I only took like one step because I'm a little bit nervous about what to do next. So give us some suggestions on what we can do because this is a room that is used a lot.
Absolutely. Well, in recent months, most of us have spent a lot more time at home than ever before. And one of the most used rooms in our homes is the bathroom. We can all use some affordable tips to renew and refresh.
Okay, so you have some luxe items. So I'll let you know what I did. So I just did a little paint refresh and I did a statement wall with wallpaper. And that's kind of where I left it because I was like, I don't want to, I'm afraid of going too much. So what are some additional items you can add?
Well, the first thing you want to do is clear the bathroom clutter because you can't believe how the simple act of removing clutter using storage containers or adding inexpensive freestanding shelves will give your bathroom a major facelift. And it's also a great time to toss away those old or expired items that we all have that have been collecting dust. Next, we're going to add some stylish soaps to upgrade your bathroom sink or any sink in your home. Having clean hands enables us to do the things we love, which is true now more than ever. The new Oh Joy by Soft Soap collection can help make the time you spend at the sink each day a lot more joyful. The soaps wash away bacteria, are paraben-free, and formulated without phthalates. The Oh Joy by Soft Soap collection features 4 lavender scents: Juicy Grapefruit, Peach Party, Midnight Macadamia, and Blooming Iris, with bottles that are both beautiful and fun. You'll wash your hands more often per day than any other activity, so why not add some joy to it? And these soaps are available exclusively at Target starting February 21st.
I love the idea of adding the different soaps because really a scent can do a lot for your mood and for a room. So how do you make this a sanctuary?
Absolutely. Well, a few other things that you can do to easily change up your bathroom with non-permanent items are things like a new inexpensive mirror. You could also replace your bathroom rugs or towels in a new color or style. And if you need color inspiration, you can get inspiration from our bottles that have a bunch of different color combinations. Now, these things work great if you rent too, because you're not making any permanent changes. And they're easy to switch up a couple of times a year if you want. And also, you're mentioning of paint. That's another thing you can add on if you want a slightly bigger but not too daunting project that you can spend a weekend on. A fresh coat of paint makes everything feel new, and you can add those other things in addition to the paint.
Any items to help make it a little bit more plush in that room?
Absolutely. I mean, I think for me, changing out those towels and the rug, and even if you have a shower curtain, those things are great too. I also love being able to put tissue covers on bathroom tissues, things that will just add and sort of update what you have. And again, these things are easy to find. You don't have to feel like you have to get them all at once. Find one, then find another, and feel like you can continually refresh it as you go.
Joy, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You can find more on our website at ojoy.com or at Target.
All right, normally it's moon news, but today it's Mars news. NASA has successfully landed a new vehicle on Mars. There they are celebrating there. Perseverance touching down successfully this afternoon. Now, Professor Melissa Rice worked on the camera that's actually attached to the rover. She says there's good news for those looking for life on the planet.
We care about old places on Mars because it's long, long ago in Mars's history when we think the planet might have been a little warmer, a little wetter, and there might have been environments like are present on the Earth that could host life. And so this specific site, Jezero Crater, is a spot where there used to be a lake, a really big lake, and there was a river bringing sediments and water into that lake. And we have a river delta that's now preserved just as a big stack of rocks. And we hope that within that stack of rocks, there is evidence preserved of ancient Martian life that might have been swimming around in that lake.
Well, I asked her when she'd breathe a sigh of relief, not only when it landed, but when it sent back its first image, and it has sent back its first image. So that is great news. Just happened.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
That's awesome.
Bless you.
I get so excited about this because I wonder if there's going to be Mars fossils. Is that what they're going to find?
I would love to see. When it gets to outer space stuff, I think we all do. We kind of nerd out and geek out on that. Some of the other science, I could take it or leave it. This stuff is huge. I mean, just the possibilities, what could have been and what will be. Do you guys really think that there was life out there?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. I don't know if it was intelligent, but it's out there somewhere. Intelligent. It might have been, very small levels. That's the technical term on Mars. I'm excited to see more about it. By the way, I love that its name is Perseverance. I think there's nothing more 2020, 2021 than Perseverance making its way towards Mars. Although
did it launch 2 years ago?
6 months. No, 6 months ago. It took 6 months to get there.
Well,
yeah.
This is this last year.
But so they're also going to, they're going to search for fossils. They're going to look for pictures. They're going to drop a helicopter, a 4-pound helicopter that's going to fly up, I guess, take more pictures. They're also looking for evidence of ancient life, what we just talked about. And they're going to record the first sound, the first file of sound from Mars. The first sound from Mars is going to come. So
by the way, we're just getting one
interesting.
So apparently Perseverance is just going to Mars to drop off their daughters, and it's coming back tomorrow. So okay,
a good one. I was like, where's he going with this? I already covered everything.
Let's take a look at the forecast on what's coming up. And this is the part of the show where I was supposed to. Oh, good. Someone did it for me. I forgot to look up the temperature on Mars. I love our producers. Thank you. 4 degrees Fahrenheit, a low of 400 below Fahrenheit, uninhabitable, with a sunrise at 6:40. Thank you, producers. I totally blanked on that. You guys are the best. Here's our forecast back on Earth for the next 3 days, at least in Chicago. Sponsored by United Auto Insurance. Get your free quote, call, or click today. Yeah, we'll start to get some melting again with the sunshine tomorrow and Saturday before we get more snow on Sunday. But we'll see a warm up after that. More of that coming up in a bit. Felicia?
Yeah, coming up, SNL star and Naperville native Chris Redd joins us to talk about his new TV show. We'll be right back.
Is the full screen going to come up at the end of each child, please? Oh,
All right,
yeah.
time for a segment we like to call Child Please.
Yeah, please.
We're going to start with me. A 24-year-old British woman found out her boyfriend and baby daddy was having an affair as she delivered their son. Now, this gets way worse. The affair was with her own mother. The couple and their daughter, so they already had a child together, moved in with mom in the pandemic with the incoming baby on standby. The boyfriend broke up with her via text as she was giving birth to their son. By the time she and the baby got out of the hospital and home, the boyfriend and grandma had left and moved out in together. Child, please.
Yeah, child, please. Child, please.
Child, please. What in the Jerry Springer is going on here? Do you realize her boyfriend's child is also her sister? It's too much. It's too much.
Or grandkid. Wait. Yes. Sorry. This is very confusing.
Child, please, and move on on this one. Yeah.
Okay, well, here's another one. Serena Williams, she ran out of an interview and tried to hold back tears after a reporter asked her this. Considering how hard you worked to get here, what do you think caused this? Or was it just one of those bad days at the office? That's what he said, because she just lost the Australian Open to Naomi Osaka, who is also touting Black Girl Magic. Really cool. So we got two child pleases here. Okay, the first one goes to the reporter, child please, with this question. And how are you going to make the GOAT cry? The second one goes to Serena Williams with love, though. Child please, do you know how awesome you are? There is literally nothing Serena can do at this point to like take away her greatest of all time title. She's already been solidified in the history of being the greatest of all time. So, child, please move on.
I actually like how the reporter framed that question. Like, was it just a bad day at the office? Because everybody has them, right? I thought that was actually a more sensitive way than be like, you're just not feeling it today, you know? You're so
true,
old, but
it made her cry. And because she's my big sister, I take that personally. Child, please.
Child, please. All right, a Cincinnati woman off to jail soon for a DUI crash that actually injured a couple teenagers. They have recovered. She's not going to get the party that she had quite hoped for. That's right, her friends decided to throw her a off to prison party, and they decided to have it for a DUI for the lady. They decided to have it at a bar. Well, the bar caught wind of it on Facebook. Everyone dragged them through the mud, and they decided not to have a party. A going away to prison party for a DUI at a bar? Child, please.
Might be a little tone deaf.
Yeah. Well, because it's at the bar,
said in the meeting, Felicia.
Not because they're going to prison.
Yeah, you said the party was fine.
People have a lot of off to prison parties, but you don't want to do it, especially if someone if it gets like more morbid, like if someone passed away, you don't want to do that. But
you don't
the fact that it's at a bar too. Ugh. Okay,
Child
I'll leave it
please.
there.
God,
Mhm.
please.
All right.
Child,
Take a look outside on a cold night. Child please, that Kennedy moving slow tonight, child please.
Please. Please.
Oh, my mom loves child please. So there you go.
Oh, good.
There's your
That
instant
was
note
cute.
for Marsha, I guess.
Marsha
She's
approved.
cackling, she says.
Air your grievance.
Well, this is trouble.
Oh, no. Live from
Here
the
we
gym.
go.
In honor of National Wine Day, when was the last time you got white girl wasted? Oh, on wine or on anything? That's the question.
Anything.
Last weekend?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
White girl wasted. It has to be at least where you can't drive.
Oh.
well, isn't that
Okay.
any kind of wasted?
Yeah.
I don't really drive anytime I drink.
Right. Girl, we're going to have an
I
off the
don't
prison party for
know.
you, Felicia, if you keep that up.
It doesn't feel as good anymore because it hurts and it's hard to get up the
Oh.
next day. I mean,
No, it
maybe.
feels
What do you gotta
great.
do
not
the
even
next
around
day?
The holidays.
Friday
On the
night,
weekends, what do you
every
gotta
Friday
do?
night. Mm.
I
Yeah,
still
right?
try to make my weekends productive. I don't know.
No, you
Liar.
don't.
I
You
don't
ain't
have an
going
answer.
anywhere. Friday night, every Friday night till 2 in the morning, watching documentaries about the Roosevelt. That's what
Till
I
10
do.
o'clock at night, boy.
Documentary.
Till
We'll
10
be
o'clock
back.
at night.
Tell me if you don't want me to. All right.
Okay, guys. I remember the last time I got white girl wasted. I was getting out of an Uber and my purse fell all under the car, and I was under the Uber gathering my lipstick, my credit cards, and license and everything. I remember now. That was a long time ago.
That was New Year's Eve, what, 2019?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was white girl wasted.
You were still hungover when you came to work like 2 days later.
Now, wait a
right.
minute. Okay.
Oh, you know it's true. Don't try and pretend it wasn't. Okay. It's time for a little Chicago in 60, everybody. Pause for the horn. All right, Mike Madigan, resigning from office. The former speaker spent more than 50 years in politics. His career, of course, plagued by scandals. Now, I found this funny. Governor Rauner's birthday is today, former Governor Rauner. And when asked about it, he said that this was the best present he's ever gotten. Appreciate the shade. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, because Mike Madigan blocked anything that Governor Rauner wanted to do for 4 years.
And everything, yes.
Anything, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, a runaway dog, this is good, is reunited with its owner. That's always happy news. And this was cool. It was a rescue mission that kind of went viral. So Toby, the German Shepherd, he escaped from the vet. So that's a crafty one. And social media started sharing like sightings, like, oh, I see Toby here. I see Toby here. All the tips helped police catch up with him yesterday, and they returned him home. Nice job, everyone.
But can you imagine being the vet? Yeah, well, but can you imagine being the vet, calling the owner like, excuse me, we lost your dog or your dog ran away? I'm going ham.
I am glad that the cops caught Toby. I would appreciate it if they caught a couple carjackers too. That'd be great. Okay, ding ding. No ding from the director though, so he doesn't agree. Okay, a new burrito chain. I always want the dings. All right, a new burrito chain set to hit the Chicago streets. It's called Man vs. Fries, and it's going to debut 5 food trucks. Look at this thing. Ooh. This is their fries and burritos stuffed with flaming hot Cheetos. Would you eat this up, Amy?
Yes.
What are you
I would.
About?
That is so Chicago.
Like a wet food mashup.
Flaming Hots.
In the picture, in the Flaming Hot Cheetos, that is so Chicago.
Yes, I would eat it.
Oh,
I would order that. I love it.
I'm in for that. And he's like pointing right at me, like, yeah, you get at
this one's for you, baby.
This is making me feel
you can put Flaming Hots anywhere.
Girl, you can.
You like them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we should move on.
Thank you. What, you just getting home?
Yeah, boy, the club was thick, boy. I got 9 numbers. She must have left the last one off by accident, but I'll find her.
He's an actor and stand-up comedian who's bringing the funny alongside Kenan Thompson in the new show, Kenan.
He's a busy guy, Chris Redd. I just saw you in a picture in a plane with Kenan flying from LA one day to New York for SNL the next. Did you at least wave down at Neuqua Valley High School and the rest of us as you passed overhead?
The rest of y'all, I ain't waved at Neuqua Valley at all.
But what is that? What is the shade coming from that?
Surprisingly, I didn't do well in school. I was too busy talking crazy. And people didn't support that. They were like, when you talking all that craziness, you'll never be anything. And well, they were wrong.
Yeah, they were. There you go.
But yeah, that plane is great. I have so many videos because I'm not used to that kind of lifestyle. But I wasn't gonna post them, and then Kenan broke the seal, and he posted his, and I was like, all right, okay. I guess now they know. I'm still getting used to it, man. I've never had somebody text me like, would you like your bed made? Like on the plane in the sky? That is great. Also, yes, please.
Yeah, I aspire.
Quickly, and quicker the better. So.
How How are you juggling it all between doing both shows? I mean, that's a lot of work.
It's been a lot of work, man. This coming up in comedy, just trying to juggle sketch, stand up, and just being broke, and it's just all the shows. It was always been kind of a juggle. So it's good to juggle and not have to worry about where my food coming from.
So give us a little bit more about the show. What are we gonna see with Kenan?
He plays a girl dad who is a widower, and he's trying to get his life back in order. So he's dealing with grief, and he has his family members, me playing his brother and his manager, and he also has Don Johnson playing his father-in-law who came down when his wife passed and never left. And we all band together to kind of help Kenan get his life back in order and juggle being a morning show host and a girl dad and kind of being there for everybody.
Is there just a lot of laughter amongst the whole crew?
Yeah, it's a lot of laughter. I'm really big on getting everybody, talking to everybody. Anybody can get roasted. It's a big family type of situation. With me and Kenan, especially, we like to break each other all the time. We'll be doing a scene and he can't look me in my eyes because then he'll start laughing. So he's just looking away like a kid who just did something bad. And I know he's doing that to not laugh, which makes me laugh. So there are some takes and some days where people were like, we could have had that scene done in an hour, but we just kept laughing. But it keeps the job fun, man, and light, and what I love a lot about it, you know. And I think that comes across on screen too.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. We're looking forward to the show and everything. Let's get the social media stuff up for Chris and watch him Tuesday nights on Kenan.
Well, right now, we're at $13,437 in our Let's Feed Chicago campaign, and we only have until tomorrow to hit our $15,000 goal.
Yep, join CW26, the U, me, TVFM, and Beam Legal in our effort to donate meals to Greater Chicago Food Depository. So text CW26 to 41444 or go to CW26chicago.com to make a donation. Pull out your phones, text any amount you can spare to help families in need.
All right, after the break, we're going to meet the Chicago TikTok star who is putting Hambone's history nuggets to shame. But first, actress Genevieve Padalecki shares what it's been like collaborating with her husband on the new hit CW series Walker.
Nobody gets it right away. It's like breaking a Mustang. It takes time.
Well, I just don't want to break your Mustang.
I've watched my husband, come up with this concept and then develop the show over the last couple of years. And so I've seen it as a support system. And then I was sort of surprised with the ask to surprised, and like I was silently like going like this. I hope they want me. But when Anna Fricke, presented the idea, I leapt at the opportunity because, I mean, first of all, it's an insane group of people that are collaborating on this, and the cast is just phenomenal. So, and my husband's in it, so that makes it even more sweet.
And we'll be right back after this.
Public protests here in Chicago and across the nation topped many newspapers in 2020. Now in 2021, cold and COVID is keeping us indoors. But it doesn't have to stop the momentum in the movement to end racism in this country, no matter who you are. Black History Month 2021 follows a summer of protests across the country demanding justice for Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Jacob Blake. No justice, no peace. Lives lost or forever changed by police brutality and racism, sparking an even bigger hunger for change. As the chants are silenced by the cold winter months, the question grows louder: how to keep the momentum going if you live outside a largely Black community.
From the abolitionist period, from William Lloyd Garrison to the civil rights movement with Robert Gretz, there have always been white people who have been a part of the work for racial justice.
Pastor Michael Waters is the author of Something in the Water, a 21st Century Civil Rights Odyssey, a book which urges all Americans to take action against racism. And it starts by simply opening your mouth.
One of the most powerful things that a white person can do, particularly when they are in quote unquote white spaces, is to call out racism and white supremacy when they hear it spoken, not to allow that joke to stand, not to allow that reference to go unchallenged. But even in that space, let the persons know around you that I will not stand for anyone in my presence, in my company, to speak in a disparaging way about other people.
Identifying potentially harmful talk may not be as simple to everyone. Mary Ferguson is a racial justice consultant, and since 2016, the head of a program at the YWCA of Metro St. Louis called Witnessing Whiteness, modeled after a book of the same name.
The lack of discussion about race and our lack of seeing our own racial identity led to this idea of color blindness as a positive thing. So I don't see color, but what that's saying, usually the undercurrent of that is, I just want to pretend you're white like me. And so we can focus on our commonalities, and I don't have to deal with how your life may be different from mine.
In recent years, Mary's groups have continually gotten larger. They focus on community and building relationships, understanding white privilege and where it is, and realizing change is often hard and uncomfortable. She is often asked,
why do white people not know they're white? Why is there, if there is an awareness of racism, sometimes it can be skewed in white people's thinking as something that happened, something we have moved beyond, because some of the most egregious or the most visible signs of that have changed, such as, separate drinking fountains is one that people point to. But it changed, but it was replaced by something else. And it's more covert and it's more subtle.
Yet still there. And eradicating racism will only come with communication between communities and neighbors and families. So if COVID or cold weather keeps you away from this, experts say there is still plenty of work to do.
Work with other white people. That's where you have access. That's where you have influence.
It's going to take all of us working side by side and ensuring that, frankly, we leave no one behind.
So true. All right, well, this Chicago dad turned TikTok star started making videos to teach his daughter about Black history.
As Black History Month approaches, undoubtedly somebody's going to say they gave us the shortest month of the year. And I can't let you say that. America's never given anybody anything. Let me teach you the history of Black History Month. There isn't a lot I can tell.
Okay, thousands of followers later, Sherman Thomas, aka Six Figure Dilla, on TikTok and Instagram. He joins us now. Six Figure Dilla, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Hey, thanks for having me, John. Thanks for having me, Felicia. I appreciate it. Time. Thank you.
Where's the name coming from, Six Figure Dilla?
Actually, I'm glad you asked. No one has asked that. Sometimes, right, we think that the only way to be successful is to, go to college, be a lawyer or a judge or something like that. But if you work in a trade, if you're a plumber, if you're an electrician, you work really hard, you can make six figures. So, Six Figure Dilla.
That's awesome. And that really relates to what you're doing, because you're making videos during the day sometimes at night, because you're balancing a full-time job along with this.
Yes, sir. Proudly, I'm an area operator for ComEd here in Chicago. I work downtown Central Business District. What we do, a little bit of what we do, is we maintain the distribution and transmission of electricity downtown. We do a little bit of the troubleshooting as well.
So you started doing this for your daughter because you wanted to obviously help, make sure she's learning this information. Really sweet. We love our dads. I also think it's so cool though, because you are a real Chicago guy. You sound like you're from Chicago, which I love. And I think it's something to be said about getting this information out here from somebody that could sound and look like you. I think that's cool. You're putting your own little flavor, your own little sauce on it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think a little bit of that is the draw. Chicago is a place that's obsessed with our own history. And a lot of times we feel like historians look a certain way. And so, here I am, an arm full of tattoos. I got locks. I'm usually in a t-shirt. But I think I got something interesting to say, something impactful.
Well, you started making these videos for your daughter, but I was watching them and I consider myself someone who loves and knows a lot about history. I was sitting there learning a lot of stuff too. There's a lot of interesting tidbits out there that all of us can benefit from.
Yeah, absolutely. In my personal opinion, everything amazing about America probably has its origins here in Chicago, right? For a long time, the railroad started, right? Well, they didn't start here, but all rails led into Chicago and out of Chicago. In fact, Chicago set the time standard for the rest of the country. We call them the Harlem Globetrotters, but they're the Chicago Globetrotters originally, right? Just, the Harlem Renaissance began at the Black Wabash YMCA on 37th and Wabash that was built by Julius Rosenwald, who was the president of Sears Roebuck Company, another Chicago company, right? The Amazon before Amazon. So, I really feel like there's probably a historian in every generation, and maybe it's time for my generation to help teach those behind. And I wanted my daughter to do something else other than twerking. Not that there's anything wrong with twerking, but at 8, I think she also should have an understanding of who she is and where she comes from.
Hey, and a lot of that comes from just spending time with your kids, which is amazing that you're doing. We got a few seconds left. What's been the coolest thing that you've learned about Chicago?
I don't know if I really want to call it cool, but the discovery of the taxi cab wars in the 1920s blew my mind. That Yellow Cab Company and Checker Cab Company were actually engaged in drive-bys in downtown Chicago over routes.
Wow, news to me.
Yeah, that is. I can't wait to follow you along. I know you got a bright future. You're going to be wanting to make some YouTube videos, a bunch of other things. We'll be watching out for you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Chicago Mahogany Tours coming soon, very soon.
That's awesome.
Yes. Okay. You can keep up with Sherman's history videos on TikTok and Instagram at Six Figure Dilla. It's really cool, Amy.
Very cool. Thanks, guys. Hey, in celebration of Black History Month, we are sharing stories of people who have made a strong impact in our country and around the world. Jesse Owens was a track and field athlete and 4-time gold medalist in the 1936 Olympic Games. He was known as the Buckeye Bullet, specializing in sprints and the long jump. He was ranked by ESPN as the 6th greatest North American athlete. And today, Jesse Owens is recognized as perhaps the greatest and most famous athlete in track and field history. We will be right back.
Well, actually, I have a little bit more on Jesse Owens, his legacy going well beyond those Berlin Games that we mentioned in 1936. So 1968 USA basketball gold medalist Spencer Haywood said that Jesse Owens actually talked to the team in Mexico City while the team was planning their protests during the civil rights movements in the Olympics. Take a look.
The door kind of creaked open, and then it was like, Jesse Owens. We were like, whoa, Jesse Owens is in here. Wow. So we're talking, like young guys are talking. Yeah, we don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something, and it's going to be all cool. And Jesse was like, let me tell you something. How do you think I felt when I had to run with Hitler sitting in the stand? It kind of cooled us out a little bit. And that's when Tommy and John said, we're not going to do any more talking or anything. We're just going to, maybe put on a glove and salute.
I can't believe I hadn't heard that story of how that salute came about and what they were planning. The fact that it's Jesse Owens in the room 30-some years after he was at the Olympics talking to these guys about what might be a good protest and what he endured. It was to be a fly in that room would be incredible.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
You said it. Inspiring.
All right. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we're going to head to break. We'll be back right after this. And we want to thank our sponsors, Beam Legal Team and Foreman Mills, for all their help and coverage during this Black History Month. And we'll be right back. Ugh, any one of these days would be great to escape to Cancun for a little bit, but the rest of us are going to be in our houses and here in Chicago, get some snow on Sunday, and then it should, please, gosh willing, start to melt next week, although it could take a couple of days. This forecast brought to you by United Auto Insurance. Get your free quote today. Call or click today. And the Jam would also like to give you a chance to win free oil changes for a year at any participating Chicagoland Jiffy Lube locations. Simply enter now on our WCIU sweepstakes page through Sunday, February 21st. That's a good deal. We'll be right back.
All righty, it's time now for Deep Dish. And so we want to know, what is the favorite thing you have about your favorite person? All right, Felicia, we're going to kick it off with you.
Me? Okay. So you guys hear me talk about Mom and Teddy all the time, my husband.
Yeah.
Really great. I'll push them to the side for tonight and give you someone fresh. My brother Patrick, I don't talk about him enough. We are actually really close, and we just don't talk as often. Anywho, older brother. The thing that I most love, he's one of my favorite people. I most love about him is that he is just so calm in the face of like anything. The house could be on fire, and he's going to be just that person. It's like, okay, we're going to get a plan. We're going to be okay. We're going to make
Get it done.
Now how we talk about our end of the world scenarios. Yeah, that's the person.
Yeah. Man, I don't know
What about you, John?
I don't know what Teddy did to you and what fight you guys got in for you to push him aside that easily. I'm going with Enrique,
I'm
my
just saying
husband.
someone else.
Yeah. Well, very similar to what you said about your brother, Enrique is just so chill, calm, funny. He's always making me laugh, even in like tense situations. And you know me, I am anxiety riddled and I worry, and he just doesn't. But if I had to push Enrique aside, I'd welcome in Teddy Roosevelt, who I love because of perseverance through a lot of heartache. His mother and his wife died on the same day, and he still fought through all of that and rose through the ranks to become an incredible president.
Oh my goodness. Well, how do you follow that? I almost, for a hot second, I was like, should I push Todd aside? But no, I'm going to have to go with Todd because, I do spend every single day with him. And he's really wicked smart, wicked smart, like kind of pushes me.
Ooh.
And he's sassy. I would use another word, but we're on television, so I won't. He's a little sassy, and it forces me to kind of up my game a little bit. And so I really appreciate that like challenge. It's a good challenge. It works. But if I was going to go number 2, I was going to go with my sister because she's my rock. She's my ride or die. She's like my mom. She's, the person I go to for absolutely everything. Even after I talk to Todd, then I call her and be like, he is full of S, right? Like, this is not right. So.
I love how we've all revealed top 3 or 4 and none of us made each other's lists, which is probably healthy, right?
None of us chose each other. We spend every day with you too, Amy. Every day, Amy, I come to work and you don't choose me.
You didn't choose me.
You went 5 deep and you didn't choose us. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Bye, guys.